Good morning, students. Before I start, I want to share some information that is for your examination. We have to go with a revision. It is instruction from the school that we have to go with the revision. So today we are going to revise the chapter up to the topic which is under your syllabus. Okay, so let's start. The chapter is divided into several major topics. So we will discuss major topics and then the subtopics. So before I start, I want to tell you one thing more, that is, please take your book, NCERT book and a pencil, which is important. So this is a MCQ type test. So one word question will ask. So definitely you have to go through line by line of the book up to the topic which is there in your syllabus, and please follow my lecture also. Okay, so let's start. Now, nationalism in India. I told you nationalism means something which is a feeling, that is a feeling of one's own nation, love for nation, respect for nation, etc. Now, how this nationalism developed suddenly in the minds of the Indians? No, it was not a sudden incident. Several incidents were responsible for it. We see in the Indian history that the nationalism was at its apex mainly when Gandhiji came to the politics. So that's why Gandhiji came in India in 1915. So that's why we will start this chapter from the First World War, that is from 1914. So the 1914 Khilafat and the non-cooperation, this was the first major topic. If you see the book, page number 54, you will find that this is the major topic. So let's start. So now, what was the condition of the Indian society during the First World War? Okay, the First World War created a new economic and political situation. It led to a huge increase in defense expenditure, which was financed by war loans, increasing taxes, custom duties were raised, etc., etc. Moreover, there was a price rise between 1913 to 1918, leading to extreme hardship for the common people. Okay, there was begar. What was begar? It is important point. Begar means forced labor without payment. Okay, forced labor without payment is begar. Remember this. So begar was there. Then forced recruitment was also there in the rural areas. All these causes a widespread anger among the Indians. And moreover, during 1918, 1919 and 1920-21, there was a crop failure in the whole country, which was, accompanied by influenza epidemic, which was accompanied by, what was accompanied by? The crop failure was accompanied by an influenza epidemic. So this was the condition of the country, okay, during the First World War. And the government had no concern of the Indian society. Okay, so it is very much important to understand that this was the condition of the society. Now after that, what happened? Gandhiji came to India and the idea of Satyagraha, the next subtopic. What was the idea of Satyagraha? Gandhiji came to India in 1915 and he inculcated the idea of Satyagraha. Now, the idea of Satyagraha was based on truth and non-violence. I told you earlier. Okay, so this is important. The idea of Satyagraha was based on truth and non-violence. Now, Gandhiji said that it was a passive resistance and it's a weapon of weak, but the power which is subjected of this article can be used only by the strong. I told you earlier that it is very much important that Satyagraha is completely based on truth and non-violence. There was no idea of violence here. Now, when Gandhiji came to India and he gave this idea of Satyagraha, this was not accepted by the Congress. And Congress simply gave no attention, proper attention to the Gandhiji's idea of Satyagraha. However, this was the Mool Mantra of Gandhiji's success in South Africa also, but Congress didn't appreciate it. But Gandhiji was completely made for Satyagraha, and he decided that his movement will be based on Satyagraha. So on the basis of Satyagraha, he conducted 3 successful Satyagraha in 1916 in Champaran, in 1917 in Kheda, and in 1918 in Ahmedabad. I told you students earlier. Now, this consecutive successes, all 3 Satyagraha movement was successes, which was totally based on truth and non-violence, made Gandhiji and undoubtedly a mass leader of the country. This is what we have learned. And the next subtopic was the non-cooperation movement. The Rowlatt Act. I'm extremely sorry, the Rowlatt Act. In Rowlatt Act, I already told you that Gandhiji's success was highly appreciated by the people, even by the Congress. And due to this, Gandhiji decided in 1919 to launch a nationwide satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. Now, what was the Rowlatt Act? Rowlatt Act was the act which was made by the Imperial Legislative Council and imposed on the Indians. And this act said that if any Indian found destroying British property or anything related to the British, they will be caught and sent to the jail without any trial. This was really a black act. And against this, Gandhiji decided to launch a civil disobedience movement against such unjust law. Okay. Now rallies were organized at the various places, I told you earlier. Okay. And alarmed by this, the British government took all the serious steps, and due to this, a major hartal and bunds were there everywhere in the country. And during this particular period of time, on 13th April, the infamous Jallianwala Bagh incidents occur. General Dyer opened fire, and thousands of people died, hundreds and thousands of people died, and this was really a very cruel act of Britishers. And all these made the Indians united together, and there was a rise of nationalism. Okay, and as the news of Jallianwala Bagh spread, crowds took to the streets in many different parts of the North India. So this was really very dangerous, students, for the Britishers. So this is how Gandhiji's arrival and Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement was there. When this was going on, one more action was there, that was the Khilafat movement. We have to learn the Khilafat movement also. The First World War had ended with the defeat of Ottoman Turk, and there were rumors that a harsh treaty was going to be imposed on Ottoman Emperor, who was the spiritual head of the Islamic world, that is the Khalifa. So, to defend the Khalifa's temporal power, a Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in March 1919. Please remember this. The Khilafat committee was formed in Bombay in March 1919 by the young Muslim leaders Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. In March 1919, Khilafat committee was formed by Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. But Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali was not a mass leader. They wanted to spread this movement, and that's why they took the help of Gandhiji. And Gandhiji found the right time. And in 1920, he combined non-cooperation movement along with Khilafat movement, and he started the first mass movement of the country, that is Khilafat non-cooperation movement. Now the question is, why non-cooperation? Why non-cooperation? Non-cooperation because Gandhiji wrote a book, Hind Swaraj, in 1909. Please remember, Gandhiji wrote the book Hind Swaraj in 1909, in which he described that Indians are cooperating the Britishers, and with that cooperation, Britishers are successfully doing their work in India. If Indians refuse to cooperate, British rule will definitely collapse in the country. Okay, so this is what Gandhiji suggested. Now, how could the non-cooperation become a movement? Gandhiji proposed that the non-cooperation movement should be unfolded in 3 stages. The first stage was the first stage was surrender of the titles and government awards. The second was the boycott of the civil services, and the third was the refusal of the taxes. So this is how the movement will spread in the country. This decision was taken by Gandhiji. Okay, so let's continue.